For those of you who saw my Facebook post this morning, you might be thinking that I'm going to talk about that, and not to disappoint you, but not yet. It's coming, I promise. What I do want to talk to you about is the 12 sources of sensational selling success. Write it down. We're going to go through these 12 pretty quick. We've got 20 minutes to do it. Number one, you know the champions when they walk in the door. There's just the presence. When somebody walks in the door and they're a champion, you just know it. You can feel it in their presence. Whether they're dressed conservatively, clad in clothes that are ahead of the latest fad, or wearing anything between those extremes, they project the unmistakable stamp of competence with their attire and grooming. Are you that person? If you're not, how can you become that person? What do you need to change in order to become that person? By the way, people cannot see your insides. So if you're thinking, well, John, I can do that, but I just don't have the confidence to do it. Okay, I get it. I'm not going to say fake it until you make it. I know that's popular, but I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is see you the way I see you. I see you as a champion. I see you as capable. I see you as someone who was engineered for greatness, designed for accomplishment. Be that person when you show up in the room. 12 sources of sensational selling success. Number two, the champions we've trained take tremendous pride in the profession of selling and in themselves as human beings. They base that pride on this serious way they've met their responsibilities and capitalized on their potential. I've been in sales since 1992. Graduated college in 1987, taught school for a couple of years and got right into sales. Didn't get into real estate until 2002, but sales have been my life, pretty much my entire adult life. I'm extremely proud of it. The world needs great salespeople. There's enough bad salespeople, and I don't mean bad in a way that they're not getting results. No, that's not my point at all. And you'll get it in just a few moments because it's another one of the 12 ways 12 sources of sensational selling success. Every day as you gain skill, you must practice being more and more confident. Remember that your clients and prospects look to you for only the very narrow area of expertise that thorough knowledge of your product or service represents. I'm hearing become the local economist of choice. It is your job to know the local real estate market better than anybody else. Become an expert at pricing strategy in order to get your clients' homes sold. To deliver raving fan customer service. To market properties the best way in order to attract the right buyers. Understand the difference between marketing for any buyer and marketing for the right buyer. And be a fierce negotiator. The best way you can become a fierce negotiator is to not be attached to the outcome. The less attached you are to the outcome, the more effective you are as a fierce negotiator. Now, I'm not saying don't care, because I want you to care. I want you to work for your clients with 100% effort and care. But what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to be attached to the outcome from a perspective of you need the money. When you negotiate from a place of you need the money, you're not a fierce negotiator. Eventually, all such, okay, sorry. Number four, the top people close warmly. And closing gets negative press, and it shouldn't. The top people close warmly. You may find that confusing, especially if you have this tendency to regard the profession of selling as essentially being in business of separating people from their money. You know, that's where salespeople get a bad reputation. When I decided to leave education, to leave the profession of teaching school and to become a professional salesperson, Not everybody got it. And one of the people that really had a hard time with this was my father. So some of you may have grown up in a home where you were conditioned to believe that the profession of sales was bad. You've got to change that limiting thinking, because if that's in there, it's holding you back. And you know it's holding you back when you find yourself saying things like, I don't want to be too pushy. I don't want to call that expired listing because I wouldn't want to get that call. I don't want to ask for the business because if they wanted to hire me, they would just hire me. No, they won't. Eventually, all such vultures, and the author, by the way, this is from How to Master the Art of Selling, Mastering the Art of Selling by Tom Hopkins. It's an ancient book. Find it and read it. It's priceless. And he's saying eventually all such vultures, and he's talking about the salespeople who separate people from their money. And he's saying all such vultures, eventually all vultures will be driven out of the sales business by the new breed of enlightened salespeople who qualify their prospects, care about their customers, and make sure their clients get benefits from their purchases that outweigh the price. We've all heard people say, I used to sell, but I wasn't pushy enough. The ex-salesperson who says this doesn't realize they never learned how to prospect, contact, and qualify professionally. Champions don't push people with warmth. They are sincere in their desire to help clients have better lives. Your job is to help your clients have better lives. More fun, save money, or whatever the benefit is that their product or service provides. Number 5, most champions look to only one person for their self-assurance, and that one person is themselves. They realize that we live in a world where many people really don't care. Number 6, champions want to get rich. Boy, I probably hit a nerve with some of you right there. You're like, wait a second, John, money is the root of all evil. Sorry. Champions want to get rich. That's right, rich. Champions want the high income that'll provide the capital for investments to make them financially independent. There's nothing wrong with getting rich as long as the people you're serving along the way benefit. Number 7, a quality I can't measure, but know it's always present in champions is the burning desire to achieve. Number 8, champions learn what their fears are. And often that's not easy since we're all so good at concealing them from ourselves. But the champions persevere in this. They learn what they fear, then they attack what they fear and overcome it. Once they've done that, they radiate the confidence that comes only from overcoming fear. Now, I can relate to that. And this does go a little bit to the Facebook post you'll find on my Facebook page this morning. As I begin this journey, there's a lot of fear. And I find myself hanging onto that rope out of fear. I don't want to let go. And I have to identify those fears in order to overcome those fears. If you ignore them, you're not going to overcome them. Faith is not the absence of fear. I don't think you remove fear. What you do is you go through it. Think of fear like a big lake, a body of water that is separating you from where you are to where you want to be. Can't go over it, can't go around it. In order to get where you want to go, you have to go through it. Faith is feeling fear and moving forward anyways. 9, a lot of salespeople are only up when everything else is. Kind of like the real estate market the last couple of years. Their enthusiasm depends on other people and outside events. Are you that way? If you are, let me ask you to think deeply about why you allow yourself to be knocked this way and that by the fickle fumblings of fate. Why think of yourself as a mere passenger on your voyage through life? You take the helm, steer your course. You choose any place you want to go. A captain who is steering a ship in rough waters, looking at the waves, is sure to steer an unproductive course. But a captain who is firmly fixed on the lighthouse, ignoring the waves, will reach their destination. Number 10, the top people I train get emotionally involved with folks they serve. Now, getting emotionally involved and not being attached to the outcome. They don't contradict one another. Get emotionally involved in serving your clients. Not being attached to the outcome does not mean you're not emotionally involved. It actually is exactly that, because not being attached to the outcome means that you're not attached to the outcome for you. You're emotionally involved for your client. I am all in to get your goals accomplished. However, I will never want the destination more than you do. So if you don't want to sell more homes, I'm okay with that. And if you do, I'm here to help you get there. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you don't want to sell your home, that's cool. That actually may be the right decision. However, if you do want to sell your home so you can get to Tampa and be with your family, I'm here. I am by your side. I am on your team. I am in the trenches. Let's go. I want this for you as much as you want this for you. I don't want it more. Champions really care about their clients, and this true feeling comes through loud and clear to the people they are selling. Number 11, do you take rejection personally? Well, this is a hard one for me because I do. I'm high I. We talked about the disc the other day. Super high I. I want people to like me. I have a hard time when they don't. When I feel that people are rejecting me, because people are not rejecting you. They're not. They're rejecting the offer. They're not rejecting you. Why would you take it personally when they're not rejecting you? If somebody chooses to hire another real estate agent, they're not rejecting you. They're simply rejecting the offer. Maybe they have a close relationship with that person. Maybe it had absolutely nothing to do with you. And yet you're spending valuable time asking yourself, why didn't they hire me? And every minute spent asking, why didn't they hire me, is a minute that you're not looking for someone who will. How much time should it take for you to get over a disappointment? That's it, right there. One quick breath. Maybe a client you're working with, someone you've made your entire presentation to, decides to talk to your competitor and says he'll call you next week. Not only does he fail to call you, he doesn't answer the phone when you call him. When you find him the following week, he's already bought from your competitor. There's another for sale sign in his yard. And you're like, why did he reject me? Remember, he didn't reject you. He rejected the offer. 3 things are going to happen when I meet with a potential client. Either number 1, they'll hire me, and that's great. Or 2, they won't hire me, and that's not so great. Or 3, I may choose not to work for them. And the reason I would choose not to work for someone is if I feel they have a goal or an expectation that I cannot meet or exceed. If that's the case, I would rather turn the opportunity down today than let you down 6 months from now. Script. Maybe they chose to hire that other agent because that agent was willing to tell them anything they wanted to hear just to put a sign in their yard. You can't prevent situations of this kind from happening, but you can train yourself to take them in stride. These prospects haven't rejected you as a person, they rejected your product. Champions don't take rejection personally. All right, number 12. This final characteristic of great salespeople is also true of their companies. They all believe in continuing education. I am a student. I will always be a student. I will spend 2 to 3 hours every single day learning and growing on this journey to become the best I can become. And there's no destination in this conversation. I will never reach a point where I know it all. I am an education junkie. And this is why training is so important. And I've talked to real estate agents who feel like they've reached the destination. They know everything there is to know, and therefore they no longer need training. I've talked to real estate companies who believe this. We don't hire blank, blank, blank agents. We only hire top producers who don't need training. Well, I'm here to tell you that person does not exist. It's a wrong way to look at this. I think it might be the most important thing you do is work on becoming the best you that you can become. All right, take yourself off mute. Talk to me.